Hey everyone! I have a bit of a weird camera setup today because I want to film the top of my head. So, attach these shiny hair tinsels. Yeah, so these are holographic black, and I have black hair. So I feel like they're a nice little thing. These are from eBay for like $3.99, I think, and you don't get that many, but I don't put in that many. This is my second time putting them in. I put in about 10 lots of them with like 5 strands each, so I use up about 50 each time, and I think you get like 500 or something, not sure, I'll check the listing. And actually it's really hard to find black ones because you can find every other color, but black is really hard to find, so I was happy to find these. So we're gonna need these. The other thing we will need is micro rings for extensions. Yeah, so these are micro rings for extensions, and I bought these ones at first. I bought these big ones, which are 5mm diameter at first, and they're far too big for how many strands I was putting because I thought I'd put lots of strands, but it looked a bit crazy, so I feel it looks better with less strands. So these are too big, so the hole is 5mm. So these are for 99 cents from eBay also. And there's a silicone lined ones. So now I've bought these ones, which is the smallest ones you can get. So these are the smallest ones you can get, and they're 3mm. So they're supposed to be 2mm smaller, but they're actually really tiny. So I'm not sure how well they'll work, but I'm guessing they're gonna be more comfortable than the 5mm ones, because the 5mm ones you can really feel them in your head. When you're lying down and stuff. Once you flatten them, they're quite large. So I'm hoping that these ones will be more comfortable. And the other thing we will need is a pair of pliers. So I just use these ones, and they self-open, which is handy, because the ones that don't self-open is hard to use with one hand. So these are just flat. This is quite important actually, that they don't have ridges. Yeah, so it's important that they don't have ridges, because if they have ridges, they'll leave scratches in the paint of the beads, and then when you wash your hair they could get rusted or something because you're not sure what they're made of. But if they're smooth, they're not going to leave scratches in them, so that's what we want. If you don't have smooth ones, you can just put some sellotape or plaster or something on them to make them smooth and then use them. Okay, so let's get started. Let me just show you the difference between the 5 and the 3. So I think this is 5 and this one is 3, but they look quite a bit different, so I'm not sure if the smaller one is maybe a 2. But yeah, that's the difference. So got all our things, our pliers, our little beads, and I thought I'd show you a comparison of them and the hair. And the only other thing I forgot is we need a little plastic loop. It's just easier if it's plastic. You can just use a piece of thread if you want, but if you have like fishing thread, or these plastic loops are like from Claire's jewelry or whatever, any cheap clothes you buy might have this on the tag, so just keep one of those. And it just makes it easier because people that do proper extensions, they have a special tool, but since we don't have that, this works really good. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is put one of the beads on the loop. So if you don't have a loop, then just put your thread with the loop of the thread in the bead. Just trying to make this visible. So this is why it's easy to have a plastic one. It's okay, it's still hard with this tiny ones. It's really easy with the big ones. So now you just put this on it. And now we need to separate amount of hair that you want, And last time I did it, I used 5, which doubles and is 10, so it's this much in a strand, which I find enough to be really subtle, and it depends on what look you're going for. And then we need to even out the ends. I have the 5 ends kind of there. Okay, and now we take the 5 ends and we put them inside the loop of the thread. And then we put the bead on it. So now the bead is over the 5 hairs. And now we get the bead to the middle. So now the bead is in the middle. And that's all we need to do right now. And if you're doing it with someone helping you, you can just leave it like this. But when I was doing it by myself, I was finding it challenging because the beads kept sliding around. So what I did is just tie a knot around the bead to make sure it stays in the middle. And that's all we need to do to prep them. So now we need to create the same, just the same, but a number of them. So I'll just do that. Just need to decide how many you want. But if you don't have enough, you can just make more later. But it's handy to have them pre-made before you start. This is how I've secured it after I... So when you buy the hairs, they're kind of on that plastic sheet and they're stapled to it. I think that's how it came. And then after I took them off, I kind of didn't know how to keep them. So I tied this weird elastic on them. But it works fine actually. I just tied it really loosely so I can still pull them out from it. And then it keeps the rest of them perfect. Since these are cheap eBay beads, I don't know if there's different standards of these beads, but these ones, I think sometimes, the big ones anyway, some of them didn't have the silicone. So just before you start prepping the bead, check that it has silicone, otherwise it won't attach to your hair well. And if your hair is longer than this, then I guess you'll not use the middle, you'll have to use the strands by themselves. But my hair is like hip length, and I find it fine. It's just like slightly shorter than my hair, and it looks fine. Well, I'll show you how it looks, and you can compare and see if it'll work for you. Okay, so I've prepared them. I really should have prepared them before I started filming, but now they're ready, and I'm just gonna have them here. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is, if I'm looking down, there's a mirror just below the camera. So the next thing we need to do is section the hair. Oh, and you should do it when your hair is freshly clean, because if it's oily, the silicone will start slipping down, and that's not what you want. So you want to keep it oil free. So, okay. So I'm gonna part mine in the middle because it's how I usually have my hair. And then also part the top bit. So we don't want to put them like here, here, because you're gonna see them. So we need to start putting them lower down. And actually, I'm gonna put it even lower in case I want to do a side parting. So since they're not like full-on extensions, I don't want them to interfere with my hair as much as possible. So there is fine for me because I never have it that deep. And then same at the side. maybe there. So that hair we don't want. So I'm just gonna clip it out of the way. I had a clip here somewhere. It's just gonna clip that. I look so crazy. Okay, so this is a good place to start. So it's low, like my last parting I would do is exactly here, because I usually do my parting in this bald spot. It cracks me up. So if I have that much hair, it's still gonna cover it. So that's fine. And then I don't really do a parting on this side, so it doesn't matter as much. Then here, we also don't want to put them just here, because if you do a ponytail, they're gonna be all sticking out here. So I want to just section off another bit that you think would cover them. Since these are really small ones, these new ones that I have are much smaller than the previous. It's actually, they probably don't need that much, but I'll still keep it quite a bit chunk, I guess. And that's kind of in the way, but okay. Okay, so what we have to work with is kind of here. This is why I didn't have that many in before. So I probably put like 4 and then another 4 under it, maybe 8. So let's just see how it goes. Now that we've sectioned it, we need the friendly neighborhood loop. And then, okay, so we need our hairbrush. So since these beads are really, really, really tiny, I'm gonna try to make really tiny sections. So, but I don't want it to be too tiny, because apparently it is bad. Because then it'll be pulling at a really small section of your hair, so that's not great either. You just kind of spin it and then see how thick it is. If that's looking like it's 3 millimeters, or whatever that bead is, 2 millimeters maybe. If that's looking like it's that width, then maybe it's fine. So let's try. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is put the bead on the thing again, the same way, but now it just has the hair attached. So it's the bead with the hair. And now it's going to be slightly harder because it's already full of some stuff. Okay, so this is what we want. So now the bead is on the loop, and this is another reason why I like these tag loops, because they have this, the end of the tag there, so the bead actually can't fall off, which is handy if you're doing it by yourself. Okay, so I got it over, but it's a bit hard. So now we need to just pull the loop out, so the bead is now on there. And then move it up. And the knot of the bead has untied, so it's just tied up back. Just move it up and don't make a mess up here. And that's why I was twisting it earlier, but then I got a bit distracted. And now you have to move it as high as you can, so now it's pretty high up there. And now just hold it there, and then with your pliers you have to flatten the bead, and it's really soft. And that's it. So that's one of our beads, and it's already super shiny. You can even see it. Even in the camera from one. So I'm just gonna put a few, not too many. I don't think I'll put 10 each side, maybe like 6 each side. Okay, so then just put it. Yeah, and these are super tiny. I don't even know if you can see them in the camera. I'll do a close up. So what I'm gonna do is twist this hair and twist it all the way down so it doesn't bunch up at the top. bead is on and pull it up. Okay, this is kind of a lot of shine. Maybe this is more than I bargained for. All the beads are falling. Okay, so usually I put them like checkered, so like if it has 3 in the top, I'll put 2, and then you can put another 3 if you're putting more. So I'll just put 2, so it'll just be 5 and 5, I guess. I'm just trying to feel for where they are. And I don't like them when they're near your ear, it's unpleasant. So maybe just further back. So you can kind of pull down and see if it's still pulling down, then you need to squeeze it more. And if it's solid, then it's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna put my hair down for a minute. Let's see what it looks like. Because it was starting to look like a lot, and I want it to be a bit subtle, so... So... It doesn't look like much on camera, but let me just see what it looks like. Okay, in real life, that's kind of a lot. Okay, now you can see it. I feel like maybe it's enough. I'm just gonna do the same to the other side. It still doesn't come out so shiny in the camera. It's pretty shiny in real life. Also, my arm is no way long enough to actually film like this. Should have brought my selfie stick. So this is the outside, and it's not that dramatic because I put very few strands, as you saw. So if you want a more dramatic effect, you can put more. But I like it subtle like this. So... Hello. Focus on me. Focus on me. Focus on me. Hey. Please. Okay.